The government's sex trafficking case against P. Diddy is already beyond chaotic before it even begins, with key witnesses disappearing and new explosive developments shaking the courtroom. Jury selection for this high-profile case has become a circus, dragging out longer than anticipated with unexpected last-minute removals. The judge's unusual move to rush the peremptory challenges on Monday aims to avoid jury pool dropouts over the weekend. From 45 initial candidates, 2 people were dismissed for cause, including a former domestic violence prosecutor who didn't want to be involved, and another who failed to disclose a pending lawsuit. Now, only 43 potential jurors remain, with the tension mounting as they prepare to select the 12 jurors, 6 alternates, and an unprecedented 3 backup jurors. Why 3 backup jurors? That's a courtroom twist no one saw coming, adding another layer of intrigue to jury dynamics. Jury selection drama intensifies. Jury selection for this high-profile case has become a circus, dragging out longer than anticipated with unexpected last-minute removals. The judge's unusual move to rush the peremptory challenges on Monday aims to avoid jury pool dropouts over the weekend. From 45 initial candidates, 2 people were dismissed for cause, including a former domestic violence prosecutor who didn't want to be involved, and another who failed to disclose a pending lawsuit. Now, only 43 potential jurors remain, with the tension mounting as they prepare to select the 12 jurors, 6 alternates, and an unprecedented 3 backup jurors. Why 3 backup jurors? That's a courtroom twist no one saw coming, adding another layer of intrigue to jury dynamics. One woman struck for cause was a white attorney from Rockland County, who used to be an intern for a domestic violence prosecutor in Kings County, and she made it pretty clear that she did not want to be part of this trial, so out she goes. The other woman was dismissed because she's currently suing the city of New York and she omitted that information from her jury questionnaire. That's a big no-no. So she also had to go. With only 43 candidates left, the stakes are sky high. Nobody can afford for anyone else to drop off before the peremptory strikes begin, which will start early Monday morning. The judge plans to start striking names at 9 a.m. and somehow expects to finish vetting all 43 people by 9:30 a.m. It's a tight deadline, and even legal experts are scratching their heads over how that will be pulled off. Curious observers will be glued to the courtroom, because the jury selection process is often the gateway to predicting how the trial might go. Adding to the tension is the unusual decision to include not only 6 alternates but also 3 backup jurors. This has never been seen before, and raises questions about how the court plans to handle potential dropouts during the trial. Alternates typically don't deliberate unless they replace a juror who drops during deliberations, but what role backups will play remains unclear. The courtroom atmosphere is thick with anticipation as this unusual jury pool is assembled. Everyone involved knows this case will be controversial, and the court is preparing for every possible twist and turn. The entire jury selection process feels like a high-stakes game, where each juror's decision to stay or leave could change the entire outcome. As we head into Monday, all eyes will be on this jury pool because they're the very foundation of a trial destined for headlines and drama. The explosive opening statements and witness lineup. Opening statements are set to kick off with a bang, scheduled right after the jury is finalized. Interestingly, the prosecution is beginning with a male escort as their first witness, a surprising and bold choice that sets the tone for a trial filled with high stakes and scandalous revelations. Following him, another unnamed individual will testify on limited topics, maintaining the tense, sensitive atmosphere. Then, the star witness Cassie Ventura is expected to take the stand, bringing with her a deeply personal and dramatic presence that will captivate everyone in the courtroom. Cassie, known from the disturbing hotel hallway beating video involving P. Diddy, is currently very pregnant as she prepares to testify. Her appearance alone is powerful. Imagine a visibly pregnant, married woman stepping into the trial against a figure as famous as Diddy. This image is bound to sway perceptions about her credibility, casting her not as a vulnerable single mother but as someone with a different gravitas. Her testimony will likely be treated with sensitivity, especially given her condition and the agreed boundaries around her medical exam information. This dynamic introduces surprising emotional weight to an already intense trial. Cassie Ventura's pivotal role and unique courtroom impact. Cassie Ventura, known from the disturbing hotel hallway beating video involving P. Diddy, is currently very pregnant as she prepares to testify. Her appearance alone is powerful. Imagine a visibly pregnant, married woman stepping into the trial against a figure as famous as Diddy. This image is bound to sway perceptions about her credibility, casting her not as a vulnerable single mother but as someone with a different gravitas. Her testimony will likely be treated with sensitivity, especially given her condition and the agreed boundaries around her medical exam information. This dynamic introduces surprising emotional weight to an already intense trial. It shifts the courtroom atmosphere instantly, presenting Cassie not just as a victim or witness, but as a symbol of strength and complexity that jurors cannot ignore. The fact that she is married and expecting a child adds layers to how the jury may interpret her words and demeanor. Jurors often subconsciously weigh personal circumstances, and this undeniably elevates her credibility in their eyes, whether fair or not. Defense lawyers must tread carefully during cross-examination, aware that probing too deeply into sensitive, medical, or personal areas could backfire. The strategy here becomes one of precision and caution. Moreover, the timing of her testimony is significant, expected early in the trial, possibly before she gives birth. This positions her to set a tone for what's to come, making her testimony a cornerstone of the prosecution's narrative. Whether she completes the trial remains uncertain given her condition, adding another element of suspense. Her presence on the stand, with a visible pregnant belly, is a powerful visual that speaks volumes without words. It challenges typical stereotypes about witnesses in such cases, forcing everyone in the courtroom to reconsider assumptions. For viewers and observers, this moment will likely be one of the most talked about aspects of the trial, underscoring Cassie Ventura's pivotal role and unique impact on the proceedings. The complex legal strategy around the beating video and charges. Although the beating video is notorious and P. Diddy has publicly admitted to the behavior showcased, he's not charged with domestic violence or assault. This fact complicates the trial because the charges revolve around alleged sex trafficking, profiting from it, and encouraging interstate travel for exploitation. The prosecution could argue the beating was part of coercive tactics, adding layers of complexity to their narrative. Meanwhile, the defense is undoubtedly gearing up for a fierce fight around these interpretations, especially about how such evidence will be presented in court. The beating video, while emotionally charged and widely seen, doesn't directly support the specific charges, so prosecutors must connect it carefully to prove their broader claims. At the same time, the defense will likely challenge the video's context, the authenticity of the footage, and the implications it carries. They may argue that the admission of poor judgment, as Diddy described his behavior, does not equate to trafficking or profiting from exploitation. This distinction creates a complicated legal battleground where the narrative will shift between what happened and how it legally fits into the indictment. Moreover, sensitive information related to medical exams and personal details is off-limits for some witnesses, further complicating the picture. The court will have to carefully navigate these factors, ensuring that the evidence admitted supports the charges without bias. The defense will certainly exploit any inconsistencies or gaps in the prosecution's presentation, making this an intense, strategic fight over the interpretation and impact of the video. Ultimately, how the beating video is framed in court could significantly influence jurors' perceptions, even if it is not the centerpiece of the legal case. The trial promises to be a tense, complex duel over the meaning of evidence and the boundaries of the law. Courtroom atmosphere and Diddy's public demeanor. Diddy has shown remarkable composure entering the courtroom, greeting the gallery and his legal team with confidence, dressed in a simple but notable outfit that communicates subtle messages. The oversized pants he wore, caused by restrictions on inmate belts, have not gone unnoticed. His interaction with his attorneys, and his choice to sit beside key counsel, demonstrate careful courtroom choreography. These small details hint at the layers of strategy playing out offstage amid the unfolding drama, capturing the attention of everyone present. He placed his hand over his heart and nodded to his cousin, who wore a free puffy sweatshirt, a garment he's been ordered to turn inside out every day he appears in court. This daily ritual reveals the strict rules that inmates must follow, yet Diddy manages to maintain a connection to his identity through these subtle signals, which surely do not go unnoticed by the jury or the media. His mannerisms are deliberate and calm, a stark contrast to the chaos surrounding the case. People in the courtroom observed how he must hold on to his slightly too large pants when standing or sitting, a reminder of the tangible effects of his incarceration. Despite this, his confident waves to the press and gallery display a man unbowed by circumstance. His demeanor speaks volumes about his mindset, combining controlled humility with charisma. Notably, Diddy did not take his usual seat in the courtroom but chose to sit next to attorney Tenny Gallegos, the daughter of renowned lawyer Mark Gallegos. This choice adds another layer of intrigue, suggesting a strategic alliance or comfort with specific members of his legal team. Meanwhile, Mark Gallegos himself was absent, flying across the country for a separate high-profile case. The combination of these courtroom behaviors and visual cues shapes public perception, making Diddy's presence a compelling part of the trial drama. The most pressing issue, missing star witness. The biggest headache for the prosecution right now is the disappearance of their star witness, called victim number 3 in the indictment. Once committed to testifying publicly, she has gone totally silent, with both prosecutors and her own lawyer temporarily unreachable. Latest revelations suggest personal issues are behind her sudden absence, and the court demands an answer by Friday on whether she'll show up. Despite her disappearance, prosecutors remain confident, adding a new victim number 5 to strengthen their case. This uncertainty hangs over the trial like a ticking time bomb. The prosecution described that victim number 3 would offer testimony about a long-term pattern of abuse, including claims that she was sexually exploited for years by Sean Combs, but now, there's no sign of her, and no clarity if she will appear in court even if subpoenaed. The prosecution and defense lawyers demanded clarity on her status, leading to the judge's order to get a definite answer as the trial advances. This missing witness is central to many of the new charges brought in the third superseding indictment. Her absence has forced prosecutors to scramble for other evidence and witnesses, adding pressure on the case's strength. However, the defense might use this to their advantage, pointing to the instability in the prosecution's case. Yet, there remains a slight hope that she might gain the courage or motivation to testify later, possibly changing the trial's course dramatically. The suspense around victim number 3 keeps everyone watching on edge, as her testimony could be the turning point in this explosive trial. This developing story is a reminder that in legal battles, the human element, with all its unpredictability, can shake the foundations of even the most carefully constructed cases. Implications and what to watch next. With the jury pool dwindling, explosive witness testimonies on the horizon, and star players missing in action, this trial is far from predictable. The court's decisions in the coming days about witness availability and juror selection could reshape the whole case. The unexpected presence of backup jurors signals anticipation of twists and turns that could extend the trial further or even risk a mistrial. Everyone watching should brace for the unpredictable as revelations and courtroom battles unfold. The defense and prosecution are both preparing for a long, drawn-out fight. Each development adds pressure, and any sudden witness appearance or disappearance could change the momentum entirely. The missing star witness, victim number 3, remains a significant wildcard. Her eventual decision to testify or not has the potential to shift jury perceptions dramatically. Meanwhile, the addition of victim number 5 shows the prosecution's determination to keep their case strong despite setbacks. Juror attitudes and endurance will play a critical role, particularly given the high-profile nature and the intense media coverage. The presence of 3 backup jurors adds an unprecedented layer to the jury process. This unusual move hints at the trial's volatility and the possibility of extended proceedings or complications ahead. Observers should also closely watch how the defense handles sensitive topics around Cassie Ventura's testimony. Her visibly pregnant status could evoke empathy from the jury and complicate cross-examinations. The ongoing battle over evidentiary details, such as the disputed video clips cleaned up by the prosecution, promises courtroom fireworks. This includes expected challenges by Diddy's lawyers on the authenticity and handling of those clips. Ultimately, this trial is a complex chess match between legal tactics and personal stories unfolding in real time. Staying engaged and attentive is crucial as each new piece of evidence and testimony can pivot the case in surprising ways. The implications extend beyond the courtroom, touching on broader issues of justice, media influence, and societal views on high-profile cases like this. As the trial progresses, every update could have ripple effects, making it essential to watch closely for both legal and cultural developments. This P. Diddy trial isn't just about the legal struggle, it's a high-stakes drama filled with disappearing witnesses, courtroom surprises, and personal battles played out under the public eye. The outcome remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: nothing about this case will be straightforward or quiet. Stay tuned as the story continues to unfold, because the twists are just getting started. From jury selection drama, with unexpected last-minute removals and the unusual addition of backup jurors, to explosive opening statements beginning with a male escort and sensitive testimonies of Cassie Ventura, the courtroom is charged with tension and unpredictability. The disappearance of a key witness, victim number 3, creates a ticking time bomb that could change the entire trajectory of the trial. Meanwhile, new evidence and additional victims continue to emerge, keeping the prosecution's case alive and evolving. Diddy's poised presence, the careful legal strategies, and the emotional weight of the testimonies paint a complex picture beyond the headlines. This case pushes boundaries and tests legal limits, while the public watches and waits for a resolution that is far from certain. So, whether you are following closely or just catching up, remember this is an unfolding story with many chapters yet to be written. Keep your eyes on the courtroom, because the unexpected is the only guarantee here.